conversation in a natural manner. And I don't know if it's because we can't see each other while we're talking, or it's that we don't respect one another enough to actually listen to the other person, to your point, to listen carefully enough to know when that natural moment comes. I have ADHD, and I can tell you that one of the key indicators of ADHD for people of us is that it's difficult to know when to talk. And mostly it's because we have things popping up in our head constantly, and we're worried personally that we're going to forget it if we don't say it right away. And we get so caught up in what we want to say that we're not listening to the other person as to see when we should say what we want to say.
Well, that's a classic Edmund Dakinism. That's classic season 1 Edmund Dakin, is to say, you're not listening.
So I think the smarter people in here do grow from using it, and then I think the dumber, more narcissistic people don't. So I think this can be used to reinforce narcissism, or it can be used to kind of learn more about yourself and adjust over time. I'm way better at listening from having this app than I was ever before. I can listen to ebooks and things like now and pay attention longer because of all the stupid time I spent on Clubhouse listening to idiots argue about shit that frankly was like nothing more than reality television at the time. Like, I'm kind of aware when I listen to people argue on here about certain things that like there's no value coming from the conversation itself aside from observing how that they're handling their interaction, which I think is always kind of interesting to me.
Okay, so I think one of the cooler things is like herd psychology, where my enlightenment is your enlightenment if I share it with you. And so you can raise people's IQs by giving yourself to them, either by reading with them or giving them the compression and the cliff notes, the summation or my analysis and summaries. So guys like Andrew or Steve Appel, when you ask them, hey, say something interesting, they actually can't say anything interesting because they've spent their whole time here listening. And, the point is you're not really hearing any good programming. So it's like somebody watching a channel on TV in the 1980s, and then a decade goes by, and then they say, what the fuck did I just watch? Because one of the side effects of hypnosis is amnesia. So really, this is a communication hypnosis app where we all are playing a very subversive game of hypnosis, but really nobody's providing any high-value hypnosis. That's why I go back to the sacred text being like the 20% of the huge communication index as being actually high value to self, which is really essentially helping you eliminate time wasters so you can be productive again. And it's very difficult to do because it's so much fun to have irascible conversation and to just do thought projection and imagination creation. Because this app is like a simulator where people get to use their imaginations for 3D purposes to talk about whatever they want and let free association or spoken word just take over and just flow. But again, you're listening to very stupid people talk about nothing. And it's just so much easier to read a text, an audiobook, and to just, get to the point, which is we want to eat high value information. I don't want to eat Fruity Pebbles every morning. I would like a 5-course meal, a very wonderful meal. So, it's choose wisely. Choose wisely. And as my friend Dr. Benji likes to say, let the game begin. See, this is the thing that I think is cool about the 1-minute clips, is that I'm creating like a library catalog of high value information. So if I actually want to turn off and stop thinking and stop talking, I can just go to my YouTube channel and be like, okay, my YouTube channel is actually me speaking or people I know speaking, and it's basically edits of high value stuff. So if you want your own personal cheat sheet, which is what I'm encouraging you to do, start with a YouTube channel and do these 1-minute clips of high value information and use that as your baseline and fallback to all the other communication hypnosis, which is competing for your conscious attention.
Do you know about the 100 monkey theory?
No.
100 monkeys? It's the idea that there's like a collective consciousness that we can pick up on. So, the monkeys are eating dirty bananas, but then a few monkeys start washing their bananas on one island, and then when 100 monkeys start washing their bananas on island A, miraculously, at that point, monkeys on the island B start washing their bananas. And so they have this idea of the 100 monkey theory, where when an idea has been adopted by 100 monkeys, I mean, obviously it's not 100, it's more of a theory than an equation, but it's kind of what you're saying, that we can share knowledge with each other, and then when there's, it's a very Chabad thing as well, that when it takes more and more acts of kindness to bring Mashiach, and then we can do more and more acts of kindness and more acts of knowledge, and then eventually it will be the 1,000 monkey theory, where the other monkeys will start to pick up on it.
That makes sense. It's kind of where knowledge turns into instinct for a population of people.
Right.
Which makes sense. I think that probably naturally occurs. I mean, it definitely occurs like in the assignment of DNA to your children and things like that. If you look at like why an elephant knows where to go to get water without having walked it before, because it's passed down the DNA. So that occurs there. What you're suggesting is not quite that, but it's something even, it doesn't have to be the offspring of the other monkeys. It can just be monkeys in a different location that eventually just pick up on the common sense nature of the task, which I think is probably super true and likely. Yeah. Same way that, I guess, the same, so there's, okay, so examples of like a cuttlefish. I was looking at this thing on YouTube recently. There's a cuttlefish that drops to the ground in the water, and he changes his shape into looking exactly like a hermit crab. So his body ends up being the shell, and then he takes his little tentacles and he makes them into a hermit crab body with legs and antenna. And it looks identical to a hermit crab. And he sits there waiting like a hermit crab, so something will come to try to eat him, and then he can eat it. I started wrapping my head around that, and I'm like, how does he do that when he doesn't know what he looks like? He doesn't have a mirror. So how does he mimic that, not being able to see his own body? It's kind of the same, I don't know how they're related to what you're discussing, but it's the same kind of idea to me, that that he's able to do that. And I don't have it completely figured out, but I think it's super interesting. Same way, I guess, that their body matches the color when they can change their color to match their surroundings. How do they know that how do they know what they look like? How do they know their body's matching? So interesting.
Yeah, back to that 100 monkey theory. I'm looking for some quote in a book where it's talking about like, it's almost like about sociological evolution, meaning that like if you raise the IQ, if individuals are able to raise their IQ and then mimetically share that information with the group, it raises the collective consciousness or collective IQ of the group. And this app would be like a good example of attempting to do that. But in theory and practice, or implementation are entirely different things. So it's fun to theorize and postulate, but at the end of the day, if you're improving yourself, you're improving the world. And if the United States is improving itself, it's improving the world. If China is improving, it's improving the world. I mean, if we can not, incur another 9/11 event, whatever the true, source of that event is, it doesn't matter. I mean, we have to, we are the ones alive now. And so the whole thing becomes personal responsibility, be the master of your mind. And the wandering mind is the big problem. So this app just allows people to wander. I know it's it's difficult because of the job and work. But I would say that your hour of power, you really need 2 hours of power daily. One is for exercise and body consciousness, and then the second one is for psychological consciousness and essentially putting new programming in your brains. I would encourage you all to use the app to do it because you spend so much time here listening. If you spent an hour here talking, but not just common casual conversation, but really reading a book, I can just tell you guys, I don't know any other way to essentially manifest money. Uh, I mean, I do know other ways, but I'm saying that this is a good way to do it. It's a good start. It's a good place to do it. Try it. Invite me to your room. I will record your room and put it on YouTube, and then you can watch a video of you reading a book for 50 minutes. I will be your audiobook publisher.
The last psychiatrist I had left me with three things that remind me of what you're talking about. One was sweat for at least an hour every day. And the second thing he left me with was Mike, quit kicking Mike's ass. And then the third thing he said was replace sarcasm with irony.
Sarcasm and irony, I don't know. Irony, it's ironic. So wait, you want to replace it with something ironic? I don't know. I mean, I would say just look at it as comedy. If there's tragedies, dramas, comedies, etc. Like, yeah,
I think that's exactly what he's saying. I think that's exactly what he's saying. Is that sarcasm is negative and irony is funny. And so that's exactly literally what he was telling me to do, is turn the things you notice that you're sarcastic about, turn them find the humor in them and use them as an example of irony. That's exactly what I think he's saying to me.
Yeah. Because sarcasm gets annoying for the listener and for the speaker, I think. Like, comedy brings a smile to the face. Sarcasm, like, puts a frown on the face.
But sarcasm was super popular in my generation, the Generation X. So in the 90s, in Seattle especially, where I grew up, sarcasm was it. If you look at the major movies we came out about that culture, everything from the grunge culture to the movie Singles to the movie Reality Bites, like, sarcasm was our form of humor that we actually thought was funny amongst one another and that we took less seriously. And I would say that it matured poorly. It aged poorly. And so nowadays it's considered a negative. It really wasn't a negative growing up. It was actually a humorous thing growing up. It's changed very much so. The major movie stars of the time were super sarcastic. Winona Ryder, Matt Dillon, or what's his name? From Something About Mary. I think it's Dillon. Anyway, Kevin Bacon. Like, the actors of that era, they relied on sarcasm as their humor.
I don't know, why do people educate themselves? Why do people go to high school, college? I mean, they're trying to make themselves smart, to raise their IQ. So a lot of people have just turned off that path, that way. And I just think, it's still available for everyone to essentially continue education. And I do think that occult sciences or occult wisdom is of tremendous value to increasing IQ. I know there's, the thing is, if you want to be an engineer, a software developer, a mathematician, a builder, a creator, a maker, I mean, you need to, like, grease the wheels. It's got to be smooth and have flow to it. And English is what we communicate in. And I think it's so funny that everybody wants to communicate in English, and we are all native English speakers. We have a huge leg up because of the way we sound and the way how we can read. So it's like, it's a global business. I mean, my friend, his dad has a business called pronunciationworkshop.com where he teaches people in foreign countries how to speak English. He goes to South Korea, he goes to Taiwan, he goes to China, he goes here and there, and he teaches American English But the thing is, it's not. He's not teaching them occult sciences. He's teaching them basic grammar, and basic English words, and getting them to sound like English speakers, because people know that if you can't sound or fit in, it lowers credibility in a way, which is ridiculous. But nonetheless, people will pay to try to sound American or American English.
Yeah, I see that. I see that in the case of Indians on this app and everywhere else. There's something about listening to them speak, their accent, that makes me take less stock in their intelligence, which makes no sense because they're intelligent. And they oftentimes are saying things that make a lot of sense. For some reason, the accent alone throws me off enough that I have a very difficult time tuning in and considering their speech as equally valuable. I don't know. It's a personal thing, but it really is something I've noticed. I really can't tolerate it very long. You know who's not an idiot, but he needs to do more listening, less talking on this app, is Brad. Republican right-winger wacko Brad. He's smart enough to learn if he listened more. But he's always got to talk.
So what I think, you don't experience, which I experience, is that I record. So I'm producing people, meaning that I'm capturing characters. You're instead keeping them inside of you. So when I listen to Brad, I'm listening to a good speaker who's giving me good content. And it gives you incontentment, or gives you no contentment, but it gives me the content. So that's a you problem. And he is usually out walking his dog and barking into the phone, and it's all projection. But the point is, if he bothers you, and you listen to him, it's a you problem. But that's why I say, if you were in a production studio and you were essentially just trying to record, capture, and store, it wouldn't bother you in the way that it does. You're just not offloading it. You're literally uploading it into your brain and storing it there. I, on the other hand, am literally exporting it and storing it outside of myself. And so, thus, I'm not impacted maybe in the way that you are, or I'm just totally
because
ridiculous.
he's a one-dimensional character, and you're not expecting that character to change into anything. I'm always hoping that I'll see some semblance of growth in that character. Just, I guess, because I do think he's smart, and I do think he's a responsible, decent human being. So it's like, it's frustrating to me that doesn't happen. Whereas if you're just recording him for character's sake, the fact that he's one-dimensional is fine. You have to have the Roadrunner in your narrative. The Roadrunner is never the Coyote. He's always the Roadrunner, and that's fine because you have a different person as a Coyote. I mean, I think I sit more on the potential of people who appear to be intelligent, who are closed-minded, but insist on talking instead of listening. And that's where I block in those people to a position where they become kind of like disappointing and problematic to me. But like I said, that's because I'm judging them, and you're not judging. You're just recording and using it. So that one-dimensionality is not a negative in that case.
Right. You want to transmute everything. So, like, literally, you are so important, but Your own worst enemy. I'm telling you, this app, you can transmute it into gold. Like if you had a YouTube channel going, didn't have a job, and you had a YouTube podcast studio, and you recorded everything you did. If you cloned me, you would say,
I got that, buddy. I have that.
yeah, Scott's doing it. I'm saying it's very difficult to actually become Howard Stern. It's very difficult to become Joe Rogan. But they are essentially doing what you just described, which is they're not value judging, opinion creating. They're just creating content, and they're doing it to be publishers. Like that's what you're missing out on is you are a customer of Brad. You are eating Brad. You are not selling Brad. You are consuming Brad, and that is the problem. Stop consuming. Be a seller. Be a distributor.
Oh my God, I don't want to consume bread. Ugh. But very good.
I'm just telling you, be a seller. Don't be a buyer. You're being a buyer, and that's why you're having problems. You have to start being a seller, and it's difficult to be a seller because you have to have inventory. But what is free inventory? It's transcripts, because what you're doing is you're taking a transcript that Brad creates in the chillism room or in this room or that room. You are literally reading his transcript, putting it in your brain, and saying, "I fucking hate this transcript." So what I'm selling you is to get you to sell your own transcripts. And I wouldn't encourage you to just do the Mike Moon show, because that's pointless. Use transcripts, get books, and make audiobooks. I've been creating audiobooks for many, many years, and it has helped me on the way. It has saved me. It has protected me. It has created for me. I could show you many YouTube accounts where I've got 30,000 views on an audiobook reading Thomas Merton, The Tao Te Ching.
So you're reading somebody else's words and
Yeah,
just creating content that
I'm
way.
telling you, it's a hack. I'm literally inputting other people's entire existences through my output. It's
I like
amazing.
that. I like that because I've always thought I like to read out loud, and I'm pretty good at it. When I was in broadcasting school in the Marine Corps, I was the top of my class for reading narrative on the radio and stuff, for reading news and things like that, for hosting like NPR style news programs. I was always better at it than everybody else. And there's a guy on here, Victor, who reads books on here, and I know that if I get a setup to do it, if I decide to put time in my life to do that, and I get a decent microphone, because I do think quality matters when you do that. And I'll tell you honestly, the main reason it keeps me from doing it, strangely, I know what it is. It's the physicality of sitting at a desk and talking into a microphone while I'm doing it. If I could record myself sitting on my porch with whatever natural noises there are and be able to pull off a quality that made it work, that's the kind of comfortable area that I would want to be in. And if I'm already in an area I'm comfortable and want to be at, talking while I'm there or reading aloud while I'm there would be like actually kind of fun. It's this idea that I have to find a space in my house. If I'm going to record it, I have to make it look a certain way and light it and turn it on and get it going and then sit in this space and then produce the content in this one space in this one particular way. And that's what constantly breaks down for me getting started.
Mike, you could do it at a desk. If you didn't care about video quality that much, you could just get a dynamic mic that would filter out background noise but be really clear with your voice. I mean, they're not that expensive.
Yeah, can you give me a name of that specific product I can do for that?
Yeah, I'll back channel it for you. I'll send a few recommendations. I just got an incredible mic.
Yeah. Tell me what that is, because I don't know what that is. But I will go buy that immediately, because I've already been in my head wanting to just read books that are kind of interesting to me, on Clubhouse or YouTube or both. I've been actually wanting to do that for a while since Victor started doing it. I've been listening to him do it, and he's getting really good at it. I've heard him grow in the ability to do it well, and it's something that I think I would really enjoy doing. I just don't know where to start. I don't know anything about audio tech at all.
I know a lot about it, so I'll send you some stuff.
Yeah, if you can tell me the mic and then the most, I guess, basic recording program, a way to capture it. Like, what should I be recording it to? The simplest one to use, the one that's least, I want the Apple product version of it, not the Android product version of it.
You're overthinking it, and you're gonna overdo it because you can go to YouTube on your phone now.
No, because once I get the basic thing, once I understand what I need to be using, I'll stick with it.
I know, but this is.
I'm not overthinking it. I just need to get started.
This is my method, though. I showed it to a musician at this bar on Friday night because I created some shorts of him on YouTube, and they immediately got 10,000 views on YouTube. So I came up to him and I said, "Hey, I wanted to let you know I just created shorts on YouTube. It's 15-second clips, and they blew up. You got 10,000 views." He's like, "Oh my God, show me how you do it." So I showed him how to create a short on YouTube. This is what I'm telling you: is if you read sacred texts, you can do 1 minute clips, and you can create 14 a day, or you can create 15-second clips or 3-minute clips. But the point is, the short little clips, I can show you my YouTube account and you can flick through my shorts and you can see what I'm doing. If you do what I'm doing, it's a quick way where you don't have to overthink it because your phone has a mic. You do an image overlay on a green screen in YouTube in the short. It's very easy to do. And what you're doing is creating that chair to where you can fall back on sacred wisdom texts in your own voice on YouTube to immediately reprogram yourself, because your brain is its own worst enemy. You're gonna keep repeating your pattern. I could play.
How are you getting the audio into the YouTube video? I understand the concept of creating a YouTube video where you just put like a screen overlay of a picture or something or whatever.
The audio
on the internet otherwise.
The audio is through the mic. It's through the mic on your phone.
Into the
you read the book
app once it's recorded.
You read the book into the phone. You hit start on the short, and once you hit start or you hit the red button, it gives you 15 seconds or 3 minutes to read. You record yourself reading into the mic on your phone. And I'm telling you, the audio overlay is perfect. It's 1-to-1 on your cell phone mic. That's why you don't need a mic to go to Amazon and buy some special mic. You can literally start right now on your phone with your mic phone on your cell phone.
I actually have my son has a little plug-in mic for my iPhone as well that's supposed to improve it a little bit. That you can plug in the bottom of the iPhone, so I can start with that.
I'm telling you, it's 1-to-1.
Better than the phone itself on speaker.
It's not going to be better. It's 1-to-1. Anytime you have a Bluetooth transfer, it degrades it. 1-to-1 on your cell phone is
100%.
really from your mic. Yeah, I have created 10,000 plus YouTube videos. I have so many YouTube videos. It's insane. BBC has like 22,000, and I mean, how the fuck does little old me create 10,000 videos? It's insane.
But what if those come to? Do those bring any income? Or are they growing in any way? Or like how many views?
No.
Like what if those come?
All it has that not.
Work. That's a ton of work.
It's a ton of work.
Where are you at today as a result?
It's not
of that? What has that done
monetizing.
for you?
I can go to my YouTube studio and see how many more hours I have to get this year and how many more subscribers I have. Those are the two metrics to monetize. But you got to realize I'm not just recording jazzy, stir the pot. I'm reading sacred text books. So I have changed, my disposition, my personality, my intelligence. That's part of the project, is to make yourself smarter, to increase your IQ through books, aka external software programs.
Yeah, because while you're reading it, you're ingesting it as well. That makes sense.
It's like dancing. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm jumping word to word, and when you're reading something new and profound, it is ecstasy. It's ecstatic. It's unbelievable. You're like, whoa, this is profound. Damn. And I'm recording it and publishing it. So I get comments, I get feedback, and I'm getting views. But the whole point is also to improve myself, because if I improve myself, I improve the world. And everybody is complaining, but they're not improving themselves. So this is one way to make yourself smarter, improve the world, possibly manifest actual dollars as a business, because what you're really doing is providing education, and it's not copyright infringement. YouTube allows you to create these shorts. If you were to play music and it's copyrighted, they will delete it, but there's no copyright on reading books. So it's interesting. It's a way to improve yourself, to improve the world, to make money. It's my theory.
No, I love it. Essentially, what you said is something I didn't really make that connection, that you can be a good communicator, but you need content, and the content can come from books, and reading books is creating content that you can communicate, and you don't have to spend all the time coming up with the content. I love it.
And it's going to improve your conversation because now you can give people compressions of what you're reading. And you don't even have to cite it specifically. It's just changing who you are in terms of your political position. Because there's a lot of political debates and then the religious debates. So I'm telling you, debating is fun, but it's a lot more fun when you're even more intelligent. And then it becomes like a cat playing with a ball, and you're the cat. So you want to have the strength of wisdom. If you don't have, look at the word wisdom, domination of the wise. Do you want to dominate, Mike? I mean, it's a lot better to be a dominator and a warrior than the person being dominated. I mean, unless you got that kink and it's role play like Scott. I mean,
Yeah, I'm a power top like Jesus.
it's kind of funny. I didn't think about power top because I'm actually thinking about it sexually, but like from a hermetic perspective, the power top actually is what Jesus is. So, that's why I say if you read sacred textbooks and you create these 1 minute clips, you will make yourself smarter and you will change your outcome and your future destiny. There's no other way to really impact the future other than wisdom now. And I mean, look at your PTR, the moon. There's sacred wisdom in the moon. The moon reflects the light. The light is the pinnacle, and you need to. The light is essentially wisdom. So if you want more light, more wisdom, you got to read these sacred textbooks. I'm telling you, it's like a hack, and you can literally eat the moon. You can eat the sun. Not literally, but I mean, even if you were to do the Eucharist or something and eat the wafer and drink the wine, I mean, what is all that about? It's all about wisdom. It's about eating wisdom. So if you want to dominate, get wisdom, get sacred texts, whether they're from India, from China, the Middle East, United States of America, France, Britain, wherever. Eat sacred texts and you will poop light. That's my quote of the day.
Hey, Bone wants to come up. He's raising his hand. Oh, here, I can let him up. You made me a mod.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, we're talking about sacred texts, wisdom, and pooping light. How are you today, Dr. Boney?
Are you pooping light, Bone, or are you pooping dark?
Well, look at my PTR. It's a meme.
Oh, I am pissing blood. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Adrian Dittman, my favorite X account, which is Elon Musk, he put up this meme the other day. It says, "The greatest treasure you will ever find is the light within your own heart." But I got to tell you, a lot of people don't know how to fill their heart with light. And again, it's books. So if you want an aura, if you want to change your personality, if you want to change your consciousness, there's a hack. And I think putting sacred textbooks on YouTube is the hack. Doesn't require a lot of work.
So, are you a hack, or is the thing you're saying is a hack?
I'm a
I don't
hack.
understand.
I'm a clown house hero, real world zero. Okay, I'm a hack, but I still believe in
Oh, yeah.
the future opportunities or the current opportunity costs. I think reading books is the best way to spend my time now, because if I want to improve the
I think
world,
And what about the deep state patriots and they're saving the universe?
they're not. It's just another echo chamber, and there's no real wisdom there. They're not
The
dominating
fuck is an
anything.
echo chamber, bro?
An echo
Fucking
chamber.
English, kid.
An echo chamber is a room where no high value information is being exchanged.
They are fighting Donald Trump at every turn.
Every turn.
Yeah, there's a ton of echo chambers on here. That's literally what almost every room is.
Oh my god.
Don't underestimate the power of Congressman's MC.
Hey, Scott. Where are you from, sir?
I'm from the deep states.
I know you are, Elon. I'm asking Scott.
I'm from Philly, man.
Are you... Get the fuck out of here. Are you really from Philly?
Okay, click the link above, Mike. Hold on, don't bring Boney up yet. Don't bring the Bones Stallone. I know he's from Philly. You guys got this Philly connection, but create a room about it later. I'm trying to do a nice relaxation meditation here. Dr. Boney is irascible. So click that link above. That is the 6,000 video, and you can look at that YouTube account and you can see how the short goes viral. Because you have to also understand when you create a short on YouTube, it's like the TikTok algorithm, where if you're reading a sacred text into the short, people will listen to it, and it has stickiness because sacred texts are hypnotic. So music is also hypnotic. And but anyways, that is the YouTube account. Follow that YouTube account and go through my shorts and just listen to some of my sacred text readings, and you'll see how I do it. I would really encourage you to do it, Mike. This is the $1 million therapy package that that every psychiatrist and psychologist would love to share with you and sell you, but unfortunately, it only works if you actually do the work. It is a you thing. Like you have to create it yourself. No one can give it to you. So it's like, it's like getting in a rowboat to get to Nirvana or to Paradise Island. But once you're there and you know the secret, you realize that you can get in that boat every day to get there. So, and I'm not saying you have to smoke weed or drink alcohol to get there. I think you could actually do it naturally if you got the willpower. But it helps with a little red wine and a little cannabis. But you got to function, so it's not advisable to use chemical intoxication to get to the nirvana state. Welcome, E, to the wisdom room. What's going on today in your world? What did you want to tell us?
I don't want to tell you anything, but I don't agree with this guy.
Which guy? Trump or the speaker here? Doge.
No, Trump, of course. I don't agree with Trump, like no one does. But the other guy who was talking earlier.
Got it. Somebody on my YouTube says you look like Renam from Calvosfera.
I look like what?
Not you. They're talking about me. I'm going to see who my doppelganger is here. Anyways, Mike, I'm always preaching and harping the same thing. But look at my YouTube channel, and I would really encourage you to try to do some sacred text dialectic therapy, essentially. And it will help alleviate your fear of the future. And it will actually probably help you manifest what you're looking for.
Like, I don't think you know what you're talking about.
It's okay.
I
This
think
is
you're
a
very,
this is a
no, but I
hypnosis.
think you're very young.
This is a hypnosis, madam. I'm creating a hypnosis video. You don't have to agree or disagree. This is all just a meditation.
Okay, fuck you. But
Oh, thank
I
you very
think
little.
You're very young.
Dr. Benji, you hear how this works? I hope you understand. I hope you've enjoyed today's morning podcast because this is relevant to you as well with what you're doing. I mean, what you should be doing, Dr. Benji, is facilitating therapy for people. And you are, but like try to inject the wisdom into your rooms, Dr. Benji.
Like, I would love that. I would love that.
I'm a
But
therapist.
what is wrong with me?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm your therapist. You tell me.
You, how can I tell you? Like, please do. I'm here. I'm here for you.
You're here for me?
Yeah.
Well, what can I help you with, madam? My morning is getting started here. I've got things to do.
Weren't you the one who was talking about, like, okay, never mind. Have a great day.
You too.
Yeah.
See, she knows there's nothing to talk about. Okay, Dr. Benji, I hope you've enjoyed my morning podcast.
Is this your podcast? Does anyone listen to this?
Yeah, you.
No, I don't.
You don't listen to this? You're not having a conversation with me right now? You're playing a very complicated game, madam.
Well, I like you, but...
You like
no.
me? Well, what can I help you with
Yeah,
then?
I like you. No, you cannot help me with anything.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Then there's no more work here to be done.
There is no more work here to actually listen to this podcast?
Yeah, hundreds of thousands of people.
For real?
For real. Go look at my YouTube account. I have, many, many YouTube
No,
accounts.
thank you.
Millions of views.
Yeah, I will not do that. But
That's great. Then don't bother
I
asking
know.
me. I guess
Yeah,
communicating
but
with you is pretty much a waste of time. So at this point, I'm
why
going
do
to
you
actually put
feel
you in
that
the goo
way?
very soon.
Because I was going to ask you a question.
I'll give you like
Do
30 more
you-
seconds of my brain.
Fuck you.
Okay.
Do you talk
Clock starts now.
about... Do you talk about...
You can join my free WhatsApp group and see everything for yourself. Every trade, the exact time.
For sex.
Oh my god.
He scolded her like a thunderstorm.
Okay, I'm putting you in the goo, you naughty girl.
Okay.
Isho remained with
Kicking you to the goo like a communist.
And then she found that which she was seeking. In her honor, Inzan wrote a poem. This nun studied 13 years under my guidance. In the evening, she considered the deepest koans. In the morning, she was wrapped in other koans. The Chinese nun Tetsuma surpassed all before her. And since Mujaku, none has been so genuine as this Gisho. Yet there are many more gates for her to pass through. She should receive still more blows from my iron fist. After Gisho was enlightened, she went to the province of Banshu, started her own Zen temple, and taught 200 other nuns until she passed away 1 year in the month of August. The master Soyen Shaku passed from this world when he was 61 years of age. Fulfilling his life's work, he left a great teaching, far richer than that of most Zen masters. His pupils used to sleep in the daytime during midsummer, and while he overlooked this, he himself never wasted a minute.